Hey, hey. So today I want to talk to you guys all about if you are someone who is having a conversation or has conversations with clients or potential clients in order to make the sale. So an example of this would be if you do have sales calls, or if you even offer complimentary consults. So a lot of my clients are everything from psychologists to naturopaths, to writers, to designers, a little bit of everything, right? Coaches, trainers, speakers. Usually all of our conversions these days are happening with conversations. And these two words, I had this epiphany this week of how close these two words are. They literally are just two letters apart, that there's conversations and conversions. And let's see if I can get a little brighter here. And so I want to talk to you about this today because this is a really powerful insight that I had this week. So I was doing some testing. Now, basically my kind of net here that I want you all to get is if you are running sales conversations like this, then it is so crucial that you're tracking every single one and giving yourself some data, some really knowledgeable data to work off of. So ultimately what I was able to do, because I use the same scheduler for all of my complimentary consults, I was able to go back and pull a report of all the last 2 years. So I have a pretty good close rate, basically, that a lot of people that talk to me, I end up working with as a client, and that's because they are usually such quality leads. It's such a great fit. So we'll go into that actually in a second because it's a really huge part of this. But one of the pieces that I really want to emphasize here is that for you to create a spreadsheet, and you can even actually go back if you have some kind of system in place that you actually can go back and look at all the sales calls that you have, whether it be to go in your calendar or what have you. So what I did, oh my gosh, hey, we're back. I thought I'd sit it out, and it worked. Okay, so what I did is I put together a spreadsheet. I was able to go back and actually take a look and find all of the complimentary consults that I've had over the last 2 years. Now, the reason is that here I knew that I actually had a pretty good close rate, but I wanted to get the actual percentage. We're just about to actually run some new offerings, and so I really was curious about the actual percentage. Hilariously, at first I was like, I think I'm like 85 or 90%, but I don't really know how percentages work, apparently, because it's really more like if I'm closing, say, 2 out of 3 people, then that's actually more around like 60%. So all that is to say that is so powerful, because here is the huge epiphany that I had. What it helped me see is that while, yes, I had all these great quality leads and I'd had great clients that I was able to, that were able to step in and work with me this last year, I really did this for the last 2 years, the key thing that it helped surface is how many times I had phone calls with really not qualified leads. People that were just not the right fit of a client, and that I spent my time speaking with them anyway, which is fine. Like, all in all, it was probably like, 30 hours of my life over, maybe 35 hours of my life over the last 2 years, which I really chalk up to, kind of like charity and being able to, because I know that on many of those calls, they didn't have the money, or they were not in a place to hire a coach, but they really needed support. And I know I offered them the support on those calls. So that's fine. However, what it really gave me the insight of is really making sure that I am attracting quality leads. And so the biggest thing that I want to invite you guys to do as well is really making sure that you're bringing in quality leads, and in whatever way, shape, or form that is for you, but really making sure that, so a great example of how you can do this, which I had, but I don't think I was, I think I can actually add a few questions to this. I think I can make some really clarifying ways to like funnel it down even more, is you can have an application form. So I've had an application form, and that really helps me get some good insight into some companies. And what it is really for me is like, I need to know what and you kind of don't know this when you're starting out, not that I'm even starting out, I totally should know this, but I think it's like this where I want so much to help so many people. So I end up just, being like, okay, well, we'll talk. Because sometimes if it's a right fit, it's a right fit and it totally works. But the one thing, like little things, I'll give you an example that I should know for sure is I just don't work with product-based businesses anymore. So every single one of those phone calls that I got on that they were product-based businesses, I should have known and I should have never gotten on the phone with them. It's tricky because, right, like I've had some clients in the last couple of years that I've loved and they've been great and they've had product-based businesses, but there's like a second delineator there that is really, really key, and that's kind of the work that they're wanting to do, or what is the support that they're wanting. And so one thing that I really do is help with embodied leadership, really like stepping into you being the leader of your business. That means, hiring, delegating, making sure that you're duplicating yourself. You're not doing it all, bringing back some self-care, this relationship with self is so, so, so huge. So in the times that I've had clients like that, it really hasn't had to do anything with their product business. It's had to do with this piece of their business. So all that is to say, if you are doing this, I want you to go back and see if you can track all the conversations that you've had. And here's some other questions to ask. So number one, you want to really look and see who have been qualified leads, who have not been qualified leads. And then out of the qualified leads, look and see who became a client. And you can even, I went through and kind of made notes about what were also the resistors. So there was a few clients, for example, that they either got really scared or the money was the problem, but that I knew they really were to be my client. Like I really wanted to support them. I knew we could do some amazing work together. And those are the ones that are a bummer, because that's what I actually look back on and I go, did I want to say like fight hard enough for them, but like truly on behalf of them, knowing the transformation that I could help bring them in their business, did I like act on behalf enough? And I think I did. Like if I think back to this one woman, I know that I followed up with her. I know that she was scared. I know that she was just, terrified of kind of going for it, which actually brings me to another thing. So I'm going through this whole process, which I have, and I'll put a link in here that I have a whole program called Magnetize Your Win-Win Clients. And in Magnetize Your Win-Win Clients, you get really clear on who your ideal customer is. So I put this program out a couple years ago. I've definitely done it, but I learned some new layers of my own program. So I'm going to be updating this because I learned some new layers that are so, so key. One of them for me and my clients and who I work with is so I have this whole Facebook group actually, which I want to mention to you guys as well. And we'll put a link here that if you are someone that is a badass activator or a conscious creator, if you are in business for yourself and you make stuff happen. So that's what I really, really got when I looked back at all of my clients, the ones that were, successes, not because that they achieved massive success, but that we did some really awesome work together, that I loved working with them, and that they loved the work that we did together. The qualities and traits of those people are really something that I can help take with me forward and go, okay, this is my target market, this is who I serve. And the quality is that they are exactly that. They're this badass activator. They're somebody that they're super smart, they make shit happen, they get so much done. They're like so creative. In fact, that's why people come and work with me, is they have so many ideas coming through them that they need support figuring out, okay, which one do I start with and how am I going to do it? How is it going to actually like really move the needle forward by focusing on this one idea? So it was really helpful for me to see. So like if I just go back and think about that one woman that I wanted to help so much, maybe she didn't have that quality. Maybe she wasn't really ready to like do the work and go for it. The people that I work with, they're willing to do the work. Like even if it's scary, they're like, you know what though? I want this behavior change. I want to look and see what I'm not seeing in my business that's going to help me be successful, and I want to freaking change it. Like they're ready. They're scared, but that's like why you work with somebody, is that I'm going to be right there and I'm going to walk this path with you. And so it was a really helpful delineator. So now when I'm going out to find new clients, that's who I can target so much more, is recognizing that I work with people who are ready for change, who, even if it's scary, they're willing to get out of their comfort zone and make that change. And so I can speak to them even more directly now, instead of maybe trying to like coddle and help everyone who's really too timid or too shy, when in fact that's going to be maybe a waste of my time, right? So that was another delineator that was really, really huge. Of course, I looked at the male-female ratio. I used to work with males a whole bunch more, and I've really realized that the most successful in terms of like who we have the best experience with, and who ends up really actually like taking my advice and really going for it, is women. I've worked with some just badass women, and maybe it's the fact that I talk about birthing your big ideas into the world or what have you. I think that a lot of my languaging and a lot of, just maybe the feminine flow action that I work with, and believing me, it is so much, the work that I do is so much about helping them, helping you, integrate your masculine and your feminine, even as a woman, because that's a huge part. And I think that that's actually what's been really helpful when I have worked with men, is that, they've been also balancing that, which is a beautiful thing if you're a conscious creator. But now I know that as much as I've not wanted to like say one or the other, women are definitely like who I serve. However, I will say I have a book coming out soon, and that's of course going to be for anyone and everyone. And I need to figure out if this online course is going to be for both men and women. I have such a hard time like leaving them out, but if I look at the stats and I look at the the numbers and the data, which does not lie, it's really all about serving women. So what's another insightful thing? Really looking at, so this is like a classic client avatar question, is like looking at, lifestyle, beliefs, values. And this was a really fun one, actually. Beliefs was a really powerful one to look at, because sometimes I think that we think that our clients have the same values or beliefs that we do, but it's just not true. And one of the, not always, right? Like they may be kind of similar, because I love working with my clients. We totally gel. And so you would think that we share a lot of the same values. But one of the things that I loved seeing, and actually this is true about me as well, but I really feel like all the people that I work with, they love creating, like almost above all else, like creativity. And that includes like being able to like learn all the time. They love to like learn and be creative and creative problem solvers and coming up with new ideas. And they love helping people. They, in fact, some more than others, some more than me actually. Like this is, there's in the Enneagram, the helper, which is Enneagram 2, if you know Enneagram or if you know your number. I work with a lot of helpers that have these big hearts that want to help so many people in the world. And I am a 7, and I think I actually work with a lot of 7s, but I work with a lot of different numbers on the Enneagram. But one thing that I really recognized as such a thread, and this is why I serve, heart-centered entrepreneurs, is that I work with people that have these huge hearts that want more than anything to help create change in other people's lives. And this is the piece that I absolutely love. They're all doing such incredible work in the world. And it's also the piece that can have us get in our own way a lot, because we are loving so much, we're wanting to help so much, we care about what people think so much that can sometimes get in our own way. So one of the big takeaways here that I want you to have is either, if you can go back, please know this is not a waste of time. It is the most powerful use of your time if you do sales through conversations. If you make your conversions through conversations, these two words are magic, because these really go hand in hand. And the more you're able to optimize the conversations that you're having, you're able to optimize who you're having those conversations with, making sure that they are a totally qualified lead. The more quality they are, the more you're going to have a higher close rate or a sales rate, and basically it's going to be saving you time from talking to a whole bunch of people, wasting all that time and energy scheduling, talking to them, closing it up for people that are not a match. And that the only way you can know that is for you to get really laser clear on your criteria, which is, basically it's like a niche, but it's also about recognizing, the qualities of this person, the qualities maybe of their business. So in my case, like, right, as a business coach, I want to know the qualities of their business. Are they service-based? Are they working one-on-one with clients? Are they scaling and doing it online with online programs? All of those I love. In fact, that's actually a huge delineator for me now, that if someone is not building their business online in some way, shape, or form through copy, like writing. I work with a ton of writers. So if someone is not working, growing their business online through writing or video or courses or, I work with a lot of authors, so there's even that writing process. It's essentially that they're creating something that they're sharing with the world. And so that's like a huge delineator for me and the people that I work with, and that's the businesses that I'm supporting. And it's tricky because I know I can support so many businesses. And I will say this gets a little bit more specific, especially right now as I'm lasering in. I'm about to do a program. So if you're doing any kind of program, you really want to try to have as much as possible people that are in the same type of business, because I've worked with a lot of people that have brick and mortar type of businesses, everything from, flotation therapy to a bed and breakfast, and I can totally help them because there's so many, and one-on-one especially, because there's so much there about, embodied leadership, or just making sure that you're looking at your financials, or making sure you're taking care of yourself, and making sure that you're actually having the abundance mindset to recognize that you can hire the people you need to hire, right? So there's so many things that I can support those business owners with. But as I right now am about to put out this program, and even as I'm writing this book, I'm really needing to get super clear on like who I am serving and who I can speak to that I'm going to be able to make the most impact with. And ultimately it's also who is, when I'm having those conversations, and again for you guys, when you're having those conversations, sales conversations, for you to know what is the criteria of the people that you need to be talking to know that the odds are in your favor, that they're going to be a really quality lead for you. And the best way that you will be able to know that is if you go back and look at some data from the past. So I was lucky, I had 2 years of names that I was able to go through. And I even used this like super geeky plugin, actually, if you guys are interested in this. I used this really geeky plugin that went through, this is super geeky. I find tools like this, I love it. So I knew that I had, for example, in my Gmail, I knew that I had emails that said complimentary consult from my booking system. So I found a tool that literally will, because you can't copy and paste Gmail, like the way that it's coded, you can't copy and paste it, and you can't even print like a page. It was like really hard for me to get it, and I just wanted to copy and paste all those, like, complimentary consult was so-and-so, so that I could put it in a spreadsheet. And I found this tool that actually does that, where I could literally run, it's like an Excel spreadsheet tool that runs a rule that says, okay, all emails from Satori that have complimentary consult in it, then put it into this spreadsheet. So that was rad, because I literally got to and it had the date that they came in, and so I actually got to pull this whole report and then start doing all of my figuring out stuff from there. So if you want that, let me know. I hope this has been helpful. If it has been, please give me some likes and some love, and anything that sparked for you, please share. Any insights that you have about how you have gotten better at clarifying who is a great client for you, or how you make sure that you get qualified leads, I'd love to hear it. And just know that I'm here every single Friday. It's actually Thursday night West Coast time, and or America time, and Friday morning here in Asia. And would love any of your questions, any of your insights, and thank you so much for being here. And if you just are joining and you missed it, go back and watch it from the beginning, because it was a good one. Okay, lots of love, and hope you're having a great day or evening wherever you are. Mwah.